Here is the first question of the new year 2014. This question comes from somebody who claims to be a reindeer that ran over grandma. And like that, I mean, they're kind of admitting to a crime in their screen name, it sounds like. But anyways, the question is, did you get shitty presents for Christmas? No, and my answer is no. I do not get shitty presents. Okay, I only get good presents from my grandpa. He gives me good, very thoughtful gifts, and he makes sure they are very surprising. 'Cause it's always good to be surprised on Christmas time. Like this most recent Christmas, he gave me. Like, he doesn't just wrap up a present in wrapping paper, okay? That's that's the boring kind of gift giving, okay? What he did, he got me up on Christmas Eve, cause we celebrate Christmas on December 24th, but I don't want to get into that. Anyways, he got me up on Christmas Eve time to give me a Christmas breakfast, the most important meal of the Christmas day. So yeah, he gave me a bowl of cereal, and I started eating the cereal, and then my grandpa was like, "Can you feel it?" And I'm like, "What? What does that mean?" And then he turns on the CD player, 'cause he's old, he still uses CDs, and then his music starts playing, and it's like do 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 do. Can you feel it in your fucking mouth tonight? So then I realized, wait, I can feel something in my mouth, and it's not just the cereal. And that's when I figure it out. He put the Christmas present into the cereal. That's where he gave me my very own priceless collection of broken glass. It was such a huge surprise, I couldn't believe it. So then I wanted to return the surprise to my grandpa by giving him a Christmas gift. So I waited until he fell asleep, and then I snuck into his room to give him a skateboard, 'cause I thought he could be a skater boy. So I wanted to surprise him by putting the skateboard next to his bed, so when he woke up he would stand on it, and then he would be like, "Cowabunga," and do some kick flips. But then my plan backfired, because he woke up and thought I was a hamburglar, and he he picked up his bed gun, and he started just firing it randomly around the room. He was like, "Stop trying to steal my jewels!" But fortunately I had prepared for this contingency. So I just bullet dodged all of his gunshots. I did all kinds of backflips and jump flips and flip turns and side rolls. So all the bullets missed me. So anyway, yeah, I don't get shitty presents. I only get good presents on Christmas Eve. We celebrate Christmas on December 24th because on the 25th, that's the time where I just kind of black out for about 24 hours, and then I wake up on a haystack with mysterious scratches and wounds all over my body. But that kind of thing happens to everybody in Christmas time. Okay, well, thanks for your question. See you soon in 2014. Oh, hey, here is a question from Matt's Classic Rock 106.9 FM. And they asked, "What do you think of Japan?" Yeah, I think Japan is a pretty cool place. I mean, their country, they invented so many things, such as spiky hair and laser beams and tentacles and Chinese food. And yeah, I hope, I definitely want to go to their country someday. That's why I've been trying to learn how to speak Japanese by using my trusty application on my iPhone device right here. Like here's one of the phrases that I've been trying to learn because it's definitely one that I will need to know in order to communicate with the peoples. Here we go. Let me try it. Where can I find a spicy sushi ball?
通常のバーはどこに?
通常その場どこに? See, that one's pretty good. So that way, I won't starve while I'm in Japan because I can like go around just asking for sushi balls. Another important phrase that I will need to learn is this one. Where can I purchase some of your finest Japanese anime?
私は多分それから日本の家族のいくつかを購入し、私とできる場所。
私の頭のどそりだかしゅかしゅか私だろりかど。That one's like a pretty long sentence. But anyways, so I might have trouble finding some of those animes. But I'll still have to learn that phrase because I don't want to miss. I want to be up to date on my Japanese animes while I'm in Japan. Like I don't want to miss any animes such as Family Guy or The Cleveland Show or The Big Bang Theory. All those animes. So anyway, yeah, that is why Japan is cool because they got all those sushi bowls and animes and stuff. I will now finish by singing the Japanese national anthem. Oh, here's a question from somebody named Andy's Little Sketchbook. Look at that little sketchbook. They asked, how are your grandparents doing? Well, it's funny you ask because my grandpa, last I heard, he told me he was going out to get a pack of e-cigarettes. But that was like 3 weeks ago, I think. And that seems like a long time to get a pack. Well, they are e-cigarettes. They do, maybe those take longer to get than regular tobacco cigarettes. So if he doesn't show up in 6 or 8 more weeks, I might have to consider filing a missing grandpa's report with the police. But but my grandma, she actually sent me a letter today. So maybe I should read what it says live in real time. Let me just unfold this letter. I tore the letter in half. Hold on. I gotta tape this letter up before I read it. Let me get some tape. Okay, that's enough tape. Okay, let me just... Okay, the letter says, Dear grandson, I have not seen you for a while. Happy New Year in the year 2014. You may be wondering what happened to your grandpa. Well, the truth is that he is here with me, and we are having constant old people sex. Oh my god. P.S. Here are some drawings of what the many sexual positions we are doing. Oh my god. Oh god, there's more on the next page. Oh my god. I'm so glad that this is just an audio recording and not a video, because if I put these images on the internet, that I would probably get arrested and go to prison, just like Justin Bieber. And I don't want to be Justin Bieber's cellmate. I'd probably end up having to like protect him from being shivved by the Aryan gang or something. Like, you know, because it's not like I'm a Justin Bieber fan, but if he's my cellmate, I'm not gonna stand by and let some swastika tattooed guy stick a shiv in him. So yeah, anyway, that's why I don't want to go to prison. Thanks for your question, Scottish Boy. Oh, hey, here's a question from a person who named themselves I'm Not That Bright. And they asked, where did all the dinosaurs go? And that's a pretty weird question to ask me, because, I mean, it's not like I have a personal answer for that. You could just find it in like a history book or like a historical movie such as Jurassic Park. But you know, I guess maybe you're doing some kind of school report or something, so I'll see if I can find out the answer. I will just ask my robot friend. Where did all the dinosaurs go?
Here's what I found.
Okay, here is the answer. Takasago Army is the sixth studio album by Taiwanese black metal band Chthonic, released in 2011. The title is a reference to the Takasago volunteers in the Imperial Japanese Army, recruited from the Taiwanese Aboriginal tribes during World War II. Takasago is an ancient Japanese name for Taiwan. This album serves as the final record in Chtonic's Souls Reposed trilogy. I guess, you know, that's what happened to, I never knew that. I always thought there was some kind of like meteor that crashed into the dinosaurs, but the robot says otherwise. I mean, it says it's from Wikipedia, so it must be right. The dinosaurs were exterminated by the Takasago Army. I don't remember seeing any kind of armies in Jurassic Park. They might have been useful when those dinosaurs started taking over the place. Or like they could have made things worse, I guess. Because if one of their guns got into the claws of a velociraptor, they are some clever girls. They could have learned how to shoot bullets at humans. And then they not only would have taken over the island, they would have taken over the world and turned it into a big velociraptor utopia. Oh my god, velociraptors are the scariest dinosaur. Nobody knows how to defeat a velociraptor. I bet not even the robot knows. How do you defeat velociraptor?
Let me think. Here's what I found on the web.
Let's see. Western Digital WD Velociraptor WD1500HLHX 150 gigabyte 10,000 RPM. Wow, that sounds like some kind of crazy super weapon. You gotta get one of those. That's what it takes to defeat a Velociraptor. Holy shit. I hope I never have to face one of them. Anyways, so that's your answer. I hope that helps with your school reports. Hello once again. Here is a question from somebody named Dead I'm Witty. And they asked, if you could be inside any video game, which one would you pick? Well, that's an interesting question, because sometimes it feels like I already am in a video game. Because, sometimes I'm like crawling around, eating pellets in a maze, like being chased by ghosts, and sometimes I find a couple cherries. Or like sometimes I'll like crawl through a green pipe and bash my fucking head on a yellow block that has a question mark on the side, and like coins will fall out of it. So what I'm saying is, like, if I could choose the video game to be inside, I would want to select one that is unlike my actual everyday life. And so I think the game that I would pick would be Pokemon because I want to live inside of a pokeball. I have thought about this for a while now, because the pokeball seems like it is the best, most comfortable place to live, because when you are sucked into a pokeball, all of your particles are transformed into pure blue energy. And then it is really like the safest place to be, inside that little red and white sphere. One time I actually made my own pokeball. I made it out of papier mache, and I tried to turn myself into pure energy so I could teleport myself into my own pokeball. And that's how I got this scar. You can't see it, but I'm pointing to a huge electrical burn scar on my leg. Some say that to live inside, to see inside the pokeball is to see through the gates of heaven itself. I mean, I've said that because one time during one of my near-death experiences, when my grandpa accidentally pushed me off the roof again, I saw a vision of the inside of a pokeball, and there were all kinds of blue energy Pokemons flying around, and there was some Pikachus eating some Jigglypuffs, and they were like, I can't get enough of those Jigglypuffs. And then I woke up, and I was like, oh my god, I saw it. Now I know the truth. I know what I have to do. I have to live inside of a Pokeball. Yes, but other than the Pokeball stuff, I don't know much about those games. I haven't actually played any of them or seen the TV show. Except for I watched one episode of the show just for research, scientific purposes. I watched the episode where the Team Rockets were trying to live inside a Pokeball. Because, obviously I watched it because that mirrors my own journey. So, I've actually, if you haven't seen it, I've got a clip from this episode. I'll play it right now.
Come on, Jesse, we have to get inside that Pokeball.
Meow, that's fucking right! Yeah, that was a pretty good clip from Pokemon Season 4. Unfortunately, they did not find a way inside of a Pokeball. They ran into some of the same problems that I did in real life. So I didn't learn much from the episode. Maybe there's another TV show that could help me out. If you know any, let me know. I heard from somewhere that there's an episode of Seinfeld where Costanza tried to get inside a Pokeball and he called it a Costanza ball. But I haven't seen that episode, so I can't confirm that for sure. Anyway, if you know any more Pokeball tips, send them to pokeball@gmail.com. Okay, thanks, Pop. Oh, hey, today I have questions from a couple of people. One of them is named Gabriel the Angel, and the other one is named Odessa the Threequel. And they both pretty much asked the same thing. What was your high school experience like? So, I will tell you about the day in the life of a high school student person. My high school experience was pretty much like everybody else's. I would wake up and gather all of my school materials, such as school papers and school books, and I would collect them in my school bucket. Anyway, so I would gather my school bucket and I would get onto the school bus. But usually the school bus driver had some kind of beef with my grandpa, so he would be like, you go to the back of the bus. Until one day I took a stand. I was like, I will not sit on the back of this bus anymore. And so then I got onto a skateboard and I clung to the outside of the bus and I rode Marty McFly style. And so eventually I got to school, and sometimes I was worried I wouldn't be there on time. But I was saved by the bell, just like that show. Welcome back, Carter. So then my first class, I would go into there would be like the roll call, and my teacher, who was my grandpa, he would pretend that he didn't know me, like he said it was for legal reasons, and then he would, like 5 minutes into the class, he would send me to the principal's office, also for legal reasons. So then, like, on the way to the principal's office, somebody would be like, hey, where is your hall pass? And so I take out the hall pass that my grandpa gave to me, and I would discover that the hall pass was coated in a fine layer of poison ivy. And so I had like a huge rash on my hands. That was like a classic grandpa prank. So anyway, then I go to the principal's office, and I would like just sit on the floor for the next few hours until lunchtime, and at which point I would eat some school rations out of my school bucket. Then after lunch, it would be time for PE class, and I would get all kinds of physical educations, like, usually first of all, start with the dodgeballs. And like, I was like so good at dodgeball, I won every game. Like, no matter what, I would be the first person to get hit by one of those balls. And, the PE coach guy like gave me a gold star. It was a pretty good class. Next up, it was time for art class. And you may think that maybe this was my best class, but for some reason, the art teacher was like a real harsh critic, and she did not approve of some of my artistic methods that I learned on the streets of Compton. And yeah, so anyway, whatever. The next class was home economics, and I did like all kinds of like sewing and cooking. Like I think they saved that class to the end of the day because it made sense, because by the end of it, like all my fingers were filled with sewing needles. So then that'd be it. The school bell would ring, ting-a-ling, and the students would go home, and I would do my homework, and I would polish my school shirts and iron my school shoes. And I would always clean my school bucket to make sure it's nice and shiny for the next day of learnings. So yeah, that was pretty much what my high school was like, until I was expelled a couple weeks later. Anyways, thanks for your question, angel people. Hey, today's question comes from somebody named Nobra Go. That's like what you might say if some guy named Brian was like, hey, can I sleep here? Your response would be, no, bra, go. But anyways, the question is there a story behind Sunface? And yeah, that's a pretty interesting question, because as we all know, I have spoken of the Moonface. We all know about Moonface and where he lives. There's a whole song about it. And I have also spoken of the Sun Tunnel, which is also known as the Sunnel, which is also known as the Sun Funnel. But it's not fun. Anyway, but I have never spoken of Sunface. Because Sunface is only a theory that is yet to be proven. Many believe that Sunface lives somewheres in the depths of the Sun Tunnel, and that if you search, if you know where to look, you can find Sunface. But many others believe that the Moonface and the Sunface are two sides of the same coin, and they mean that literally. Like the theory is that the moon is flat like a coin. And if you were to just flip it around, you would see Sunface on the other side. Because if you remember, people used to think that the world was flat before science proved that it was ball-shaped back in the 60s. But science has yet to prove for certain that the moon is also a spherical ball shape. So, they attempted to prove this in the 1969s when some astronauts landed on the moon. But they only landed on one side of it. But while they were there, Buzz Aldrin, he was like, yo, while we're here, maybe we should go check the other side of the moon to make sure it's not a coin shape. But Neil Armstrong was like, you shut your goddamn mouth, Buzz, or else the only thing around here that's gonna be buzzing is this swarm of bees in your fucking spacesuit. But Neil Armstrong was known to carry around a jar of bumblebees that he used to threaten people with. He brought them to the moon because he thought he might need them to defend himself against some moon monsters. But anyways, so that because of Neil Armstrong, they didn't search the other side of the moon. Maybe they didn't have enough space fuel back then to search the whole moon. But anyways, Buzz Aldrin made an attempt to return to the moon, as we all may remember from in the 1990s. He went into space, but unfortunately, that space mission was ruined when Homer Simpson opened a bag of potato chips, and the chips floated into the space instruments. But fortunately, those astronauts were saved by an inanimate carbon rod. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know about Sunface. I'm not saying I believe in the moon coin theory, but I do believe in Sunface. I know he's out there somewhere. And I hope that someday Moonface and Sunface can be reunited, and that they can join forces and destroy all of humanity. All reunited in the fucking sky. Hey, today's question comes from a person who goes by the name of It Goes in My Ass But Fin. It's probably not their real name. I'm guessing that's like a quote from Adventure Times, but I didn't see that episode. That show gets pretty racy sometimes. Anyways, the question is, have you ever committed a crime, and how did it feel? Yeah, okay, I have. One time I committed a crime, okay, and I've never confessed it to anybody, but I will on this recording, live on tumblr.com/dashboard. I will confess to my crimes for the listeners. But first, I want to make sure, before my confession, for reasons of legalities, I want to make sure there are no police listening. Okay, so if you're a police, please turn off this audio right now, okay? Okay, so now, if you're a police and you're still listening, after I said not to, then that is called entrapment, okay? You are just, if you're still listening, you are Catherine Zeta-Jones and me right now with your entrapments. Okay, so I just I'll say once again, no police should listen to this recording. No, not just police, no law enforcement officers of any kind. This includes peacekeepers, sheriffs, marshals, deputies, gunslingers, pistol packers, anybody in the Navy or the military, anyone in the FBI or the CIA or the CTU, any judges, whether they be Judge Judy or Judge Dredd, any vigilantes, including Batman, Batwoman, Batgirl, and Batboy, and Robin. Anybody from the DC or the Marvel universe. Also Nightwing, Darkwing Duck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Any kings or queens, and anybody in the Night's Watch, cause remember, the watch takes no part. Any wildlings as well, any jokers, or riddlers, or penguins, any hunters, or gatherers, any secret agents, or any agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., any cast members from The Shield, especially Michael Chiklis, any Avengers, any Revengers, any Revengeancers, any Explorers. None of these people should be listening. All right? I don't want to hear no hitmen, no hit girl from Kick-Ass. She shouldn't listen. No barbarians or warriors. No warrior princesses. No Disney princesses either. No Lion Kings. No genies or witches or warlocks. No wizards or magicians or illusionists. No ghost hunters or any paranormal investigationers. No dog whisperers. No bounty hunters. No animal wranglers. No animorphs. None of those morphin people. No shapeshifters in general. Who else? No assassins. No aquatines. No mad scientists or professors. No eccentric billionaires should listen. Definitely no orphan masters, and no mixed masters either, and especially no Pokemon masters, or anybody from Team Rocket, including Meowth. And also, nobody, like government people, like including like governors, or any former or current presidents, or prime ministers, or DARPA chiefs. Let's see, no hackers, and that includes you, Matthew Lillard. No ninjas, no firefighters or coast guards, no lawyers or attorneys, no transformers or any robots in disguise, no avatars, no dream warriors, no time bandits or BMX bandits or Smokey and the Bandits, no loopers, no jumpers, no girls who have leapt through time, no time travelers at all, no Terminators or Predators or Prometheuses, no extraterrestrials, and no astronauts. Nobody who's been in space. No X-Men. No Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No Power Rangers. And no Park Rangers either. No butchers or bakers or candlestick makers. No reporters. No journalists. You know what? Nobody who writes in a journal at all, or a diary. So no Anne Franks, no Olympians, okay? I know the Olympics are on right now. You guys need to be like running on the field or whatever. You shouldn't listen to this. So no athletes, no mathletes, no school teachers or school principals or vice principals. And you know what? Nobody who works in like Miami Vice. I think that's everybody. Oh, and also no Catherine Zeta-Jones. Okay, I know you, Catherine. You're listening to this still probably, but I'm sorry. You're in that movie Entrapment, so I can't trust you. You got to turn this off. Okay, now that all those peoples have stopped listening, I can confess to my crimes. Okay, let's listen up. This one time, I on the internet. I used this thing called BitTorrent to download an illegal episode of The Simpsons. It was the classic episode with the monorail. I called the big one bitey. Remember that classic quote? Anyways, I'm ashamed of my crimes, but I did it, but I still got like such an adrenaline rush when I clicked the download button. But anyways, since I set all those people to stop listening, nobody can arrest me for it now, 'cause of double jeopardy. Hey, wait a second. Is that a siren? Oh my god. I forgot to tell RoboCops to stop listening. Now the RoboCops have heard my crimes and they're gonna arrest me. Oh, sorry, RoboCops. Hey, welcome back once again to dashboard.com/tumblr.com. Today's question comes from a pink dinosaur person, and they asked, what are your thoughts on Forrest Gump? I think Forrest Gump is a pretty good movie. I mean, it's been a while since I watched it, but there are some things in that movie that I will never forget. They are forever trapped in my memories. Like, for instance, like there's that scene where Forrest Gump, he's like running along and he's got those metal braces on his legs. And like when I saw that, I was like, wow, this reminds me of when I was a kid. And for a while I had like special finger braces, like on all of my fingers, all 10 of them. 'Cause this was long after my superfluous baby finger had fallen off. So yeah, I had like these corrective finger braces on, and like one day I was trying to draw something, and it was like difficult to hold a drawing pen in my hand. So like with the braces on, so like my artistic works did not look as fine as they do today. So, but I was still trying to draw something, and then like that, this was in like school times or something, and some other kid was like, hey, draw, Forrest, draw. And I was like, well, my name isn't Forrest. But then they were like, no, I mean, you should draw a picture of a forest. So I thought, yeah, I can do that. I will draw a forest. First of all, I'll start with the tree balls. So then I started drawing trees and other forest things. I mean, I guess all a forest is a bunch of fucking trees. So it's like 2 trees is a company, three trees is a forest. So anyway, I started drawing the forest, and I was like drawing so hardcore with my finger braces on that like the braces just broke off. They broke off of my fingers, and they flew into the air, and they cut my fingers open, and they sprayed blood all over the room and on all the people in the room. It was a real messy situation. 'Cause you see, you're not just supposed to break the finger braces off like that. They are supposed to be removed by a professional medical professional. You gotta be careful with your finger braces, Forrest Gump. That's what I yelled when I saw the movie, but I guess it's different with leg braces. They're not as damaging as finger braces. Oh yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's Forrest Gump. It's a very inspirational movie for people who like to eat boxes of chocolates. 'Cause who could forget that classic quote from the movie? It went like this. I'll try and do my best Forrest Gump impersonation. My mom always said that people, you gotta eat your chocolates. Because when you look into the box of chocolates, you know it's your life, and you could never know a chocolate, Forrest Gump. You can never know a chocolate. So you got to eat your chocolates, Forrest Gump. You gotta eat your chocolates. Oh, my name is Forrest Gump. I have a chocolate and you have a chocolate. And my straw goes all the way across the room into your chocolate. And I will eat your chocolate, Forrest Gump. I will eat it up. That is why they call me Forrest Gump. Because of the chocolates. Because of the chocolates. The chocolate! Oh, welcome back to the dashboard. This got a question here from a butterfly person, and the question is, what kind of board games do you like to play? That's a good question, cause yeah, there is one board game in particular that I used to play all the time, and it was a game called Monopoly by the Parker Bros. But like back then, I didn't have enough money to buy an official Monopoly board, so I had to make my own. And I put in the Monopoly game, you gotta go around the board, and there's different properties that you can land on. And because I made it myself, I put my own properties on there, the orphanage and grandma's house and the orphanage, burrito park lane and the orphanage. And there's the utilities that you can land on, and instead of the go to jail square on the board, I drew a picture of my grandpa saying go to hell and die, cause that was his code word, that was his way of telling me to go dig a hole in the backyard, because when you dig into the ground, eventually if you dig too far you will get to hell, cause that's really deep in the center of the earth. So whenever my grandpa said go to hell, he was really saying go dig a hole in the yard, so I would do just that. And I must have dug so many holes back there that the whole yard was basically one big hole by the end of it. I tried to turn it into a swimming pool one time, but it didn't work. It basically turned into a big mud wrestling pit. That was pretty fun too. Anyways, I also needed Monopoly money, which I had to make myself, and I made that out of real money. I just borrowed the money from my grandpa's purse, and I painted it blue so it would look a Monopoly style. And then I also needed the little character pieces that go around the board, the real Monopoly has the shoe and the thimble and the little puppet dog. But I just used a real shoe and a real thimble and a real kitty cat dressed up to look like a dog. So yeah, Monopoly was the game that I would always play, and I would win pretty almost every time. It was pretty easy because I was playing it against myself, and I would get so many community chest cards. My favorite community chest was the one that said, you just won first place in a beauty pageant. Collect 20 Monopoly dollars. That one was pretty good, because in real life I never got first place in any of those beauty pageants. No matter how many tiaras I wore. I must have worn 16 tiaras that one time. And those judges, they treated me like I wasn't even supposed to be there. I mean, one of them literally said to me, you're not supposed to be here. And I was if I'm not supposed to be here, what am I doing wearing all these tiaras? Answered that one smart guy. I was 6 years old when I said that. The only other board game that I played was one time I played Snakes and Ladders, but that game was too dangerous because I forgot for a second. I looked at the board, and the artwork on the board was too realistic, and I thought there was a real snake on the floor. And I was holy shit, it's a snake! And then I threw a Molotov cocktail at the board to destroy the snake that was gonna bite me and poison my veins. So after that happened, that's when I decided I will stick to my own Monopoly board, because that is much safer, and like I can win all of the beauty pageants. Cause like I made all those community chess cards myself, so every single one of them said like you won first place at a beauty pageant. You won. I put a couple that said you won second place, cause I don't want to win first place every time. I gotta let some other people win it too. And the best part is that you can win the beauty pageants without having to wear a bodysuit made of goddamn tiaras. Okay? After those beauty pageants, I swore I would never wear a tiara ever again. You know what I would say? If someone asked me, if they were like, hey, are you gonna wear this tiara? I would respond, I would tell them, no, I aren't gonna wear that. Aren't instead of tiara. Aren't So that's why I don't wear tiaras. Thank you for your tiara question. Oh, hey, here's a question from Velvita. How do you feel about mac and cheese? Yeah, I think that's a pretty good movie. For those who are unaware, the Mac and Cheese is a sequel to Mac and Me, and Mac and Me is about this alien that comes to Earth, and it helps this crippled boy. I'm sorry, he helps a physically wheelchair boy to walk again, and they go to McDonald's and they dance around on a table. And it's a pretty cool movie. It's okay, but the sequel is much better. Like the first movie was really just kind of setting the stage, introducing the characters and this universe, or which is the fans like to call it the Maciverse. But the second movie, it starts on the alien planet, and Mac is there like with his family and stuff, and he's like, yo, I sure do miss planet Earth. I especially miss that fucking wheelchair kid. I hope he's doing okay, but at least it's good that since we came back to this planet, now we built all these, we were able to bring McDonald's back to our home planet. And then it like zooms out from the house, and you see like there's McDonald's restaurant buildings all over the alien planet. And then there's like one KFC and one Subway for the aliens who want to eat fresh. But other than those two, it's like all McDonald's. So then like Mac, it cuts to later. Mac is in a McDonald's and he's eating a delicious quarter pounder with cheese. And his alien friend is like, man, these McDonald's burgers are so delicious, and they only have 200 calories per serving. But the best part about the quarter pounder is the cheese. And Mac is like, yeah, man, back on Earth, they call it a Royale with cheese. And the other alien is like, yeah, what's up with this cheese? I thought we never had cheese on this planet. Did McDonald's invent this stuff or something? And then Mac is like, yeah, what is up with this cheese? I think I should go on an adventure to find out the secret of the cheese. And then that's when like the movie title, slams into the screen. It's like Mac and Me 2, the secret of the cheese, mac and cheese, I'm loving it. So then like the plot of the movie is Mac searching for the secret of the cheese. That takes up about 65 minutes. And he's like, eventually he teams up with Ronald McDonald, and like he takes him to the McDonald's like headquarters, which happens to be on the alien planet. And he takes him on a tour of the headquarters, and it shows in the cheese machine, which takes the milk from the cow and transforms it into cheese. And Mac is like, well, I guess McDonald's store checks out. The cheese is good. But then he sees a door that says like secret cheese room, do not enter or look through this door. But Mac, he uses his alien X-ray vision powers to look through the door, and he sees the truth. And he's like, oh my God, I know the truth. I know the secret of the cheese. And Ronald McDonald's like, holy shit, this fucks my plan up. So he takes out his Mc gun, and he like, it's a gun with like a silencer on it, but it's like a red and yellow gun, cause it's a McDonald's gun. And he starts shooting at Mac. But Mac starts like flipping around the room, doing his alien flips. He dodges all of the bullets. But then the bullets like fly into the fries machine and the McNugget machine and fucks up all the equipment in the factory. So then Mac, he's like running down the streets of Alien Town. He's like, I know the secret of the cheese. The secret is that the cheese is the most healthy cheese of all the fast food restaurants in the universe. So go to McDonald's now and get a delicious and healthy quarter pounder with cheese. Da-da-da-ba-ba. I'm loving it. And then the credits play. So you see, it's like a twist ending, because you're expecting that the secret was going to be something like, oh, the cheese is made of Soylent Greens, or something like that. But it turns out it was actually good. And it's like healthy cheese. But remember, this movie takes place on a fictional alien planet. It's not real. It doesn't take place on Earth. So the cheese is only healthy to aliens. And that is why the government is currently trying to produce an alien-human hybrid, a creature that can consume McNugget balls all day long and still be healthy. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. I also, the food mac and cheese is pretty good too. Okay, bye. Mr. Froggy asked, what is your favorite thing to drink? Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Froggy. Yeah, I like to drink, just like regular normal drinks. And, I guess my favorite would probably be pizza water. And, well, everybody knows what pizza water is, but I guess I'll explain the recipe anyway. Just, everyone knows already. I know I'm saying information you already are aware of, but I'll just explain the recipe for, reasons of posterity. So pizza water is made, you just need like a wooden barrel, and you just leave that outside your window, and it has to be a wooden barrel to get the right flavor. And just over time, just throw like pizza crusts into it, and maybe an occasional actual full slice of pizza. Just keep throwing pizza crusts in there and stuff, and like leave it outside so it'll fill up with rainwater. And then you can kind of stir that around and just kind of dunk your head in there and drink the pizza water. It's pretty good. Yeah, but everybody already knows this. I'm sure some people drink more like expensive drinks, such as pizza Pepsi. But and my grandpa only bought the pizza water cause he's on a fixed income, and but I guess I'm just talking about my favorite normal drink. I guess there's one other thing that I drink sometimes that okay, this might sound a little weird, but a few times I have drank my own tears, and they're pretty good. Okay, I can only speak for my own tears, but they taste just like pizza water. And I know some of you are probably saying, well, you're drinking your tears? That's fucking crazy. And to that I say, no, it isn't crazy, Grandpa, okay? And I'm not saying that I go around crying into a shot glass. And, well, first of all, a shot glass is way too small. I don't go around crying into a wine glass, drinking my tears at wine tasting events. I'm just saying that there have been a couple times where my tear shield sprung a leak, and my mouth is directly underneath the tear shield, so the tears just streamed into my mouth, and it quenched my thirst. Okay, so it was just the tears falling down like gravity, just like that movie. I mean, I didn't see Gravity, but I'm sure that Sandra Bullock must have had to drink her tears to survive in space. Because, I mean, think about it. You're wearing those big space helmets. Sooner or later, they're going to fill up with tears. And once those tears get to mouth level, the tide is in. You better just start drinking them. So anyway, yeah, tears are pretty good to drink but you know, most of the time I would stick with the pizza water, or as it's known for short, P-dub juice. Gotta drink those P-dub juices all night long. You know that commercial? Oh, hey, here's a question from a Japanese anime person. What brand of Band-Aids do you prefer to use? That's a good question, cause I have worn, you know, in my life, I have worn like pretty much every kind of Band-Aid there is. I mean, well, technically, the Band-Aid is like a trademarked name of a specific brand of bandages, or adhesive strips, as they are sometimes known. And like I've worn like a lot of time I just wear the basic kinds, you know, the plain bandages. But you know, recently I've worn more like colorful kinds that, you know, a lot of people from the internet have donated to my cause, sending me band-aids with pictures of characters on them. Characters such as the Disney princesses, and Pac-Mans, and Kermit the fucking Frog. And those have been really good, because like the ink they use to put the characters on there is very like absorbent. Especially like the red colored characters are good, because like the Little Mermaid, the ink in her red hair, like when it mixes with the blood, it just turns it even more red. And she's like under the sea. But my favorite kind of Band-Aid that I have used is the premium deluxe camouflage bandage. Because this one is good. It's like camouflaged, and you wear it, and it's like the least racist Band-Aid as well, because you can get it in all kinds of skin tones, like white or green and all the other colors of the rainbow. But the thing is, like, when you wear it on your skin, it camouflages, so then like nobody can even tell that your hand is covered in bandages. So you can just walk along the street and blend into the crowd, and nobody is gonna be like, hey, look at this bandage covered freak over here. Well, hey, what are you, some kind of fucking mummy face? Why don't you get back in your sarcophagus? Go back to the pyramids, you mummy person. Say hi to Brendan Fraser for me. Toss salad and scramble. Wait, that's the wrong Fraser. Say hi to the Scorpion King for me. Dwayne The Rock Johnston. I'll fucking tie a scorpion to a rock, throw it at your mummy face, you fucking piece of shit. Yeah, so nobody will say that, because they won't even be able to tell that you are wearing bandages on your fingers. Well, one criticism that I have heard from the Band-Aid critics out there is that the deluxe camouflage premium bandages are too thick, because I guess they're like 30 or 40 times as the thickness of the regular plain bandages. But like I don't mind that at all. I mean, they say it makes you look like you got big fat chubby fingers, but you know, I don't think that's so bad. In fact, it's like the thickness is like the most absorbent bandage of all time. And also, if you happen to get into like a fight, like a street fight, maybe with that guy who was yelling about mummy face people, if you just like one punch to the face with your deluxe bandage covered fist, and he'll just be like, oh my god, that is the softest material my fucking face has ever felt. And then he'll just like immediately fall into a deep luxurious sleep. using your bandages as a pillow. And then you just have to incept yourself into his dreams, and you can destroy his subconscious mind from the inside, making him dream all kinds of dreams of the mummy face peoples. How do you like the mummy face peoples in your mind?